Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League Matchday 22. I'm Jim and Esso. Joining me on the desk for the second map of Team Liquid versus compLexity is PDG. Pete, we saw Team Liquid steamroll compLexity in the second half of that match.
Certainly did.
It was a good opening from compLexity, but Liquid realised the gravity of the situation and kicked themselves into gear.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate start for Liquid. Nitro winning, or almost winning a pistol round clutch. And it was an epic retake from compLexity that got them kick-started on their CT side. And from there, it was all about Surreal's ability to hit shots with that AWP. And that carried them through their entire CT side without limitation. When they got onto the T side, though, completely exposed, underprepared, overwhelmed, underprepared. And, Liquid took care of business. But for me, it was more about Liquid coming out and knowing that their season was on the line and playing really hard on their CT side. They gave nothing away, and I expect a similar mentality from them coming into their map pick on Dust2.
And they've got to make it work. As we said, the reality is if they don't win and keep winning, they find themselves out of finals contention. So that's surely would be motivation enough to get themselves going up here against compLexity. They need to get one going, Pete.
They certainly do, and it's going to be an upper dark push here from the CT's Liquid as well, but they're going to push straight into an upper dark stack, and lots of damage being taken, but Elige gets the bomb down. Nitro goes down. That's a huge kill there, and if Elige can fight off this bomb for long enough, then his teammates will be able to rotate to the back of platform, but no urgency is seeming to be shown here by Liquid, but JDM's found his way there now.
They don't want to over-rotate just yet. They leave a few holes in the defense of the map if they do make that over-rotation. So not really surprised this happened here. If anything, is the onus on compLexity to try and reclaim that bomb, because Elige is still pressuring. It's important that he pressures without losing or surrendering his life. So they do get that bomb. It's chewed up a lot of time for them, and now they have to reassess where they want to go. JDM's taken a bit of a beating, but the map positioning here on Liquid isn't too bad with that push from Hiko. And
with the bomb going down there, Ape has to use his smoke to retrieve the bomb, and I'm no genius, but that's definitely not what that smoke was intended for. And this is going to be Hiko top mid, taking down Ape with the help of Elige. Ape, the new player for Cole, really struggling in that first map. He went 8 for 24 or something like that, so he's going to have to lift for compLexity if they want to have any chance here. But Android picks up JDM, and he's straight around the corner looking for the second Elige and Pimp. Respond in kind. This is a 3 versus 1 retake now for Def. He's in a good position here to do so. He picks up the first. He navigates his way around the boxes now. Hiko pushing up that ramp. 2 HP only on Hiko, but he does find the shot, and we'll pick up the defuse there. Liquid starting well on their map choice, Jim, and a big pistol for them and their season.
Massive pistol for them in their season. Great work from them. Now, as you said, 8 going far from it in his first map, and will need to lift. So Surreal was the real key for them, and he was nullified on that pistol round without getting a frag, and JDM actually buys a scout into this round. They're predicting some sort of weaponry coming out from their opposition, and compLexity have gone old school here. 2 AKs.
Absolutely, 2 AKs
being dropped.
The force buy, so Uber and Surreal will be able to collect head armor here with Ape with head armor as well, just with a Tech 9 and a couple of pistols on Def and Android.
Now this is a super old strategy. I haven't seen this actually used in quite a long time, and was quite common actually in the 1.6 days. If you had the players on your team get a few frags, obviously with a bomb plant to back them up, they would drop AKs for their teammates, and then they would be able to drop pistols around, but they're going to get those AKs working, trying to get the entries here. They're not able to find that so far. If anything now, Liquid are going to be scratching their heads going, how did they afford AKs? How did this going on? And now they're going to readjust. Luckily for Liquid, though, they're not playing concentrated towards mid, and there's no opening for compLexity just yet.
Well, compLexity have, I guess, exposed their plans now, haven't they? They've fired those AKs, both of them, down the midsection, so it's going to be a difficult time for them here because Liquid know what's coming, but they're getting so close on this B hill. Nitro, great flash. He's going to run out the doors and try and get a couple there. Def able to trade. Hiko pushes up a dark to prevent himself from being shot in the back, but Hiko going to play a huge role here for his side, retaking through the dark space, but he'll wait for his teammate here. 2-man retake from both sides of the B bomb site for Liquid, and compLexity are going to try and hold on to this one. 4 men in the bomb site.
And they're encroaching now as they make their way That bomb site, that flash though, they have a little bit of utility to expend, and it's all bar being used here as they do spot out Def on the back of the platform. Needs to make a frag here as Elige finds the frags. Hiko also finds one as well. And the retake is starting to come along for Liquid, and they will be able to get this defuse with that kit on Elige. And a good retake from Liquid. Old school strategy there from compLexity. Got the bomb plant, but didn't get them the results they needed.
No, and that'll be disappointing for compLexity. 4-man in the site, and Liquid able to get the round to go in their way. There were only 3 flashes left on Liquid. No grenades, no Molotovs, no smokes. So I find it hard to believe that 4 players got disabled by just those simple flashes. They're in really bad spots there, clearly compLexity, or they weren't anticipating the flashes coming over, but you just have to in that situation. And Liquid, they're able to steal that round back away from compLexity after losing that B-bomb site and forfeiting the plant. So well done to Liquid, and their good run of form continues in this series.
Android. The 1D comes out, does take down Pimp, and starts to set them in motion as they try and hit this A-bomb site, though Elige is stopping them from getting across. And now they will be able to, as he actually finds his second. They get completely destroyed attempting the cross, though. So, posing a little bit more of a challenge in the English channel.
Absolutely. Hiko should pick up a double. Nope, it's Elige picking up the last. Liquid roll on 3-2-0. And it will be a buy coming out here from compLexity. Surreal AWPs up straight away, so he's keen to get back on that wagon as soon as he can. He hasn't managed to kill, nor has Uber or Ape just yet. So 3 compLexity players still haven't managed to find a kill. That just shows Liquid's dominance. And it will be JDM onto that AWP as well. Nitro keeps the SMG, so he's probably going to get somewhere a bit aggressive. And in fact, will be him close mid-door, so that's okay. Close range battles there, but it was the tag from the AWP Surreal onto Hiko that started the round for Liquid, and Surreal opens up into JDM. He has absolutely hammered JDM in those AWP battles, and the form from Mirage continues over onto Dust2.
Yeah, he's been crucial and has had the advantage in that AWP battle and has made it distinctly his own. He's just been so much better than JDM in everything so far, but that hasn't got compLexity a map win thus yet. He's got quite a few round wins, and it's been on the back of his hard work. But they're going to be looking to him to open things up even further now. They have that man advantage. They're heading back towards B, and that's where the solo site defense of Hiko is, who is on low HP.
He is, and Hiko holds that close angle. He could get the first one here, and he does. Now he's got an opportunity here to go big, but Def able to take him down, and now Liquid on the outside looking in on this one, Jim. They did it last round, but this is a little bit different for them now, but it looks as though they're keen to group up and give this one a crack. Liquid picking up the AWP, I should say Nitro, pushing in. Surreal does spot one out, and he's going to fall back. Elige, having seen the position of the AWP, he's going to say to his teammates, look, I think it's time to save. They'll back away quite smartly there and keep those 3 guns in play. Liquid will be able to buy into the next round and avoid a complete reset, but nice work from compLexity there, particularly Surreal picking up the frag on JDM early. It bodes well for them if he continues to win that duel.
Not only that, too, it was a quick frag. They recognised that there was a potential push out onto the catwalk as well. It would have been communicated to him because that smoke was visible to the guys in lower dark. So, essentially, that Surreal pre-step and quite quickly take down JDM. So, compLexity get themselves their first round. And Liquid have saved out 3 guns, so you would expect a buyout in this round, and that is exactly the case. So, they will be coming up against another gun round here, compLexity. They'll be very aware of that, but it's on the shoulders of Surreal again to try and find that frag.
Certainly is, and he'll post up on the mid side of things, but it will be a long push, actually. All 5 members. Crazy stuff here from compLexity, committing all 5 members to the long push. Not really sure I've ever seen a 5-man push on a ground run with an AWPer, but compLexity here making it work. They do get the second kill, and now they will push into long. JDM lining him up. He gets one. Will do more, though, if he can here, JDM. He's kind of stuck, but he has got the crucial frag here onto Surreal.
That could have potentially been a collateral for JDM. He did, however, get one up Surreal, so notch that one up in the tally book, but they back off here, compLexity, after sending 5. towards that choke point. They weren't successful in getting anywhere in terms of territory, but they did thin the numbers a little bit. So this makes it difficult now for Liquid to try and get information from all points on the map. They will have no idea what's going on.
They will, and that 5-man push reaps some dividends, but they lost a whole pile of control through the middle, and that's what will be given up. Hiko lying in wait there at the B bomb site, and he trips up as the compLexity boys try and switch their focus from long to B, but it just took way too long. And for me, Jim, like, why 5? Why, like, what can you do with 5 people along that you can't do with 4? You can't even get out the door in time for all those players to matter. So it did work in compLexity's favor, so we'll give them that. They got the trades that they needed, but they didn't have any mid control at all. They had no idea who was where, that no lower dark control, anything. So they kind of forfeited a lot to gain that long control. It wasn't worth it in the end.
And they're lucky that Liquid didn't actually push any other portions of the map, so it could have been even hairier for them. But Liquid's Hiko standing up when it matters most, and you can see compLexity just gripping up around those mid-double doors. They're trying to pressure and see whether or not they can get a frag out. They were looking to Def here to try and open something up with that scout of his, and they haven't found anything just yet, but that smoke mid to B comes out, so that starts to telegraph exactly their intentions into this round. And Liquid haven't made any moves to counter that just yet. They're just consolidating the bomb sites.
Certainly are, and will be first frag to Nitro out mid. He gets a double Def. Actually, TK's Android, so this is a super easy round there for Hiko and Nitro to combine for the compLexity demise. It's just the one member of compLexity that doesn't get killed by Liquid, and he got killed by a teammate.
That doesn't help the cause. They find themselves down here 5-1 on their T side of Dust2. Now, Dust2, you should be doing better on your T side, and they're going to struggle to do better when they send 5 members through the same choke point. So this round is a little bit more orchestrated. This is a little bit more well thought out from compLexity, and they're starting to take territory in lower dark. They've got members based at mid, trying to look for that opening pick. And Liquid, nothing really too special coming out from their setup. That smoke allows them to peek into CT without being pressured from the window or the B double doors, but now the concentration comes out.
It's been misthrown though. It didn't go enough to the left, and Nitro will be able to swing across to the left. He does get taken down, but not enough cover being given there. Not sure what on earth Leash is doing in that position. I've got no explanation for what he just did.
I'm not sure why he turned his back. He should have been looking for that trade. I granted his position was fine.
Jumping up on the box was fine. I just don't know what he was looking at. There was a kill just came from that part of the map, so not exactly sure. But Def takes full control of that entire B side. And look at compLexity. They're going to get this round, Jim, and JDM will go down there to Def. Gets his second kill for the round. Make that his third kill for the round. So huge round for Def. For compLexity, Jim, Liquid will definitely be able to buy. They'll rebound. They'll bounce back. But compLexity are going to have to string a few more together if they want to hold on, because Liquid's going to favour their T side coming into the second half.
Yeah, this is exactly what compLexity wanted. I guess the cries from the casting desk have been heard. Deafening. They will find that frag onto Pimp, so they will save nothing out from this round, Liquid. And compLexity now have done a little bit to thin the economy of the counter-terrorists, but there will be a buy coming out just yet. If they can string another round together, that's exactly where they're going to be able to just break that CT economy. Surreal again posting up that AWP, and no real surprise to him. If you can get a pick here, that'd be fantastic for them, but he's coming up against JDM, and JDM starts to square that ledger a little bit. It was all Surreal's way on the first map, despite Liquid coming up trumps. They just go head to head. I'm really enjoying this battle between JDM and Surreal.
Certainly, and both players are willing to take the duels as well. Neither backing off. They're finding each other, and they're finding out who's the better AWPer. And Surreal's definitely had the rub of the green so far, but JDM picking up that kill. And look, at the end of the day, JDM's team's been the one that's winning. So regardless of the AWP duels and the AWP battles, Liquid getting the job done.
So 8 picking up the AWP. Now once Surreal has gone down, despite not being the primal AWPer, he is willing to pick it up.
The primal AWPer. Sounds like some sort of dinosaur game. Dinosaur fighting game, like
Just
Rampage or something.
Unleashing that
Primal Rage. Primal Orpa.
Oh, that's all good. But they will hit this short part of the map. Now, on Elige, if he can get a frag here, he does a little bit of damage, but loses his footing. And Android has taken the brunt of that damage. But look at this flank coming in from Nitro. He takes down Uber. The flash means that he should be able to get the drop on Android, but hasn't taken the peak just yet. And is trying to isolate him here in this battle. Does do a lot of damage to him, but doesn't get the frag. So it's back to a 3 versus 3.
Nitro not able to control his recall there as his counterpart Android steps on him. Def looking at this long pick. He gets one. Can he control the spray as well? He cops a headshot. And this is going south of the border very quickly here for compLexity. They had it all covered and now Ape's left in a 2 versus 1 stuck behind the ARAM box and he will go down. Shots missed by compLexity. And Team Liquid roll back onto that A bomb site seemingly too easily for my liking. Not even bad positions by compLexity, just shots missed. And Liquid capitalize, and you can't do that if you're compLexity, but Liquid get given a lifeline.
They get handed a massive lifeline here because both teams were looking like they were in the prime seat in that round. I mean, it went both ways, but compLexity gave away too many 1v1s, so that's exactly what happened. They essentially were isolated far too much in that instance. For example, Android there at short was isolated and really didn't have anyone to back him up. He had to make that shot. Again, the teammates were isolated once they came into that bomb site retake. So, Ape, not a lot he could do. Def goes, well, a bit ham on Hiko through the smoke. So Hiko caught standing out in the open and they lose a man early on here. You can see, though, the rotation from Liquid. They've got another 2 players on that B bomb site. There's going to be holes elsewhere on this map.
Looks as though mid to B is on the cards here, or potentially a short push. Ape makes his way up catwalk and will hold that short position for his team. He's potentially going to overextend here, Ape. If he gets a little bit too greedy, he's going to get up those stairs. No, he doesn't. He heads back towards his team. And this looks like a surefire mid to B. Now, this is a good option here for compLexity. They're going to get out mid before they smoke it off. And Ape will be able to cover that drop. He just needs to be patient here and wait for his teammates to go out mid before he starts his pick. JDM senses the danger here. They know the mid to B is on. He needs to take up a dark. Can he hit the swap shot? He does. And his teammate Nitro also comes in there. But this is safe and sound here from Liquid because despite the mid to B, they've got dark control and it should be okay.
JDM, he's recognised his threat. Good positioning here. Won't be able to find a frag. Does find Surreal. Does also find Ape as well. Looking for that 4th frag. Not able to find it. Android finally gets the trade there. Elige cleans up Def. Trying to lurk his way through. And Android couldn't get much further than Nitro. compLexity have just been overrun here. Their money has run out. No plant in that round means no money for them on payday. And Team Liquid have certainly started to get themselves back in the ascendancy there. Hiko recognises the potential for them to be eco. We'll buy that PP Bizol.
Absolutely.
And farm some money.
Great read there from the 2B players on Liquid. Once they really figured out that the short push wasn't forthcoming, they knew it was a mid to B or at least a mid push. And they collapsed on the upper dark area, and that frag by JDM, that first one, really set up the round for them.
Did you know that PP Bizon is French for yum eco frags?
I'm not sure that that reference would be gotten by anyone outside of Australia, but that's fine. We'll go with that. We are Australian after all, as JDM pitches in there. Oh dear. compLexity Ape is left all by himself in a 4 versus 1. He's not going to be able to do anything here. Nitro jumping frag, but it was only a couple of damage left on the compLexity player. Now they will force buy once again. The real question is, can they really do anything without Surreal on the AWP? It hasn't appeared so. The only reason they did anything on CT side Mirage was because Surreal was hyper carrying with that AWP. So yeah, without his services on that one, you can see 2 for 8 for Surreal, and yeah, the whole compLexity side not really clicking. But that being said, it is Liquid's map choice, and they are playing particularly well right now on the CT side.
Playing very well. compLexity really haven't been able to trouble them too much at all. Now JDM just get caught a little bit. He's still sitting there peeking as well, and he's very confident in his ability to make this shot. Isn't able to do so. Ape finishing off the work that Def started and taking control of mid compLexity. This is a good start to the round.
Certainly is. Liquid here. Under the pump. They need to hold on to this round, but compLexity making it difficult for them. JDM already going down, losing that AWP in play, and Surreal might have an advantage here now. So he's got that AWP in his hands, and the short push comes in here from compLexity, and they're going to man up and actually push all the way into short. committing with just that one player remaining in lower dark. But it's an extremely grouped up complexity right now, Jim, and as the clock runs down, their ability to fall back becomes smaller and smaller, and it's going to be on the two-man teams of Liquid to try and defuse all 5 members.
Liquid have actually given them complete control of this A bomb site, so they're going to try and mount their retake from long. They've placed a premium on maintaining control, and that's a good staging area for this retake if they can get that rotation to come through, either CT or short. It would be a perfect pincer onto the bomb site, and that's exactly how things are going to occur. But I think both are going to come from the CT side of the map. So this is going to be an interesting situation because now compLexity are going to have their post-position plants or positions tested.
I think this is an instant save for me for Liquid. I don't know why at this point that they would go for this. They've got such a round lead as Def picks up 2. Nitro picks up a nice spray transfer, but yeah, for me, if you just hold onto those guns as Liquid and the 2 B players stay B and the 2 long players just hide in the bottom of pit and cover their guns, compLexity don't want to lose their guns, so they're going to exit short. Surreal wants to hold on to his AWP, so they'll exit short. And instead of being in this situation they're in right now, all they had to do was rebuy 1 gun, and they're back at it again. But as it stands, they will force buy now into a very mixed bag. Scout, shotgun, and 3 M4s of varying varieties there. And Elige will take up the slack here in lower dark and try and get some early information on early kill. But he's actually playing in a bit of a baited position. There's another player in mid spamming the doors, so hopefully the compLexity guys don't think too much of it. But that smoke, the aggressive smoke in mid that Elige threw, is often an indicator that there is some action in lower dark, and that's exactly the case. Android has come around the corner and secured the frag onto Elige. So good start once again for compLexity. Long way to go on this round, but they've started at least on the right foot.
Let's start there. Look, Elige was playing that quite well. Nitro was trying to bait from there, but I think the exit from Nitro's position was too early. He did also have that smoke to work with in mid, because as soon as that smoke faded, that was his exit plan gone. Nitro from that the Xbox. And now it leaves them with a one-man deficit. This is a round that they force-bought into. They don't have a lot of utility. They only have that 1 kit on Nitro, so now it's a 5v3. They need to make a few more frags, because otherwise the retakes is going to be nigh on impossible. And now that Pimp has been taken down, they're going to start to swarm this B bomb site. But that's where 2 members of compLexity are waiting. Oh, sorry, Liquid are waiting. And now actually making it work here, Liquid. They're getting the frags that they need, and it's all on Uber, who was trying to get himself in position at top mid. Now has to retake this B site.
Certainly does. 25 seconds to do so as well, so he's going to have no time to play with as he tries to make his way back in. That's a smoke for upper dark, but that's not going to benefit him too much as Nitro's directly below the window. JDM's taken the shot, and that will be Nitro picking up the kill eventually. The first half of the clip just appeared to go nowhere, but Liquid picking up a key round there, and for me, it was about the snail's pace of compLexity that cost them that round. They had the read, they had the direction, they had everything in place. They just took way too long, and Liquid were able to call in the reinforcements to B and meet them there at the apex of their strategy. So Liquid doing a great job, and Jim, for a team that's fighting for the survival of their tournament, they've showed up today, and they've put in a good shift so far, but it's a long way from over. They're
giving themselves a real fighting chance, and it's a much better performance from Liquid. As we said, they recognise the importance of their victory, and they're going for it. Push from there from Pimp, just getting a bit too overconfident. Does get put into the dirt by Def, and they know and have information now as to where they are, and that is a bit of a love tap there that takes down Android.
Yep, just an NA high five there for Android from his teammate, and I'm sure he'll be very thankful for that. For me, Pimp, that was a good push into lower dark. He gets information for his team. He also picks up a $600 kill, so he does eventually that does eventually benefit his team. But now Elige is re-clearing up a dark, and he'll know that it's empty. Immediately, Liquid, you see the rotation coming in thick and fast here. JDM at long gets one. He's going to have a field day behind this barrel. It's just a shooting gallery for JDM at that range with the pistols. They can do nothing at all to stop him just bopping up and down and collecting his prize.
Easy frags for JDM. Just
bobbing for apples for JDM.
He had all the apples. How about them apples? compLexity on that gun round now. Surreal with the AWP. 2 for 10 though. He has struggled to be of the same level we saw on Mirage, and really not going in at all in this game. He was key to them getting so many rounds on their CT side. Nullified a little bit on that T side, and now nullified entirely on Dust2 and Nitro, making it difficult for compLexity to enter Upper Dark. Gets the bomb down, but Uber's able to find frags as they now try and pressure this B bomb site. And it's down to 2 versus 1 here on Hiko in the B bomb site. He needs to find a frag. Will he be able to do so? Does get flashed himself as now the retake comes in. This is not going to be a plant situation, I feel.
No, not just yet, but the smoke will aid their cause. Android and Surreal in that B bomb site fighting away now. Surreal's just taking up a post, watching those smokes, making sure that his teammate doesn't get pushed on. But eventually they're going to have to commit to the plan here, and at the minute mark, the bomb does go down. 2 versus 2. Massive round here for compLexity to try and take away here from Team Liquid if they have any chance of rebuilding their T side, but just the 2 rounds left, and they're going to pick him up here. Surreal with a great angle here onto JDM. Will he continue to win this AWP battle? Yes, he does. He picks up the first, so good start there for Surreal. Now just the one more for Pimp, and by the looks of things, it's going to be Surreal picking up the double. So we said he needed to lift, and he actually picks up the 2 kills in the 2 versus 2, 3 for the round. And he has only got 5 kills for the game, Jim, so that was a massive turning point potentially for him. And moving into CT side, hopefully he gets a roll on here for compLexity, and then he can show us what he's made of, because he did show that on the CT side of Mirage.
He looked far more comfortable too when the players are running at him. Example, that situation. So when he was actually holding the site, he was far more comfortable in actually making the frag. So rather than him having to take the line and be the aggressor, he's been far better at actually just holding with that OUP. And now buys compLexity their 4th round, and we're looking for that 5th round. They need something like that 10-5 scoreline for them to be able to get themselves into the second half. They need to ease into things. But, I mean, they've got a lot of work to do on their CT side of Dust2, which is not an easy task.
It's not, and Liquid here in a spot of bother on their last round. Just the utility not working in their favour whatsoever. Pistols and auto shotgun for Hiko. Be interesting to see what happens in that aspect. Pimp there will get 1. He gets a lot of damage. Does he get away? He does. Nice move from Pimp, and he'll Molotov himself off and stop the progression. No, he doesn't. Def just mans the Molotov. Wow. Gets absolutely the Mr. Miyagi treatment. Waxed by Pimp. And that will give the AK across to Team Liquid as the rotation comes on to B. But this isn't really going to work here for Team compLexity, because 2 members of Liquid still in B, including that auto shotgun on Hiko.
Hiko's playing in a very forward position at the moment. That flash though, and they're starting to overwhelm him here. He's not even able to find a frag. They do get the bomb down as it fires through the window, but I believe it's already dropped onto Ape. It's been planted, and it's a 2 versus 3 situation here. compLexity has to hold this bomb site against 3 incoming members of Liquid. Important round here for both teams.
Smoke and a Molotov available though for the Liquid boys, and that's an intentional one-way smoke. Great to pick back a site there for Elige as he rolls in. Tries to get some vision on the site, but can't do that. And that will be the kill onto Android. Apes left there. JDM rolls in and gets it to work for him. Beautiful half by Liquid, flexing their muscle on their map choice, on their side, on their map choice, Jim. They look like they're pretty keen to extend their tournament run in this ESL Pro League. And they had to win 2-0. And they indeed can't drop a map for the rest of the tournament to do that. So the pressure's on Liquid in every sense.
There's a lot of pressure on Liquid at the moment. Hopefully they don't turn to steam.
Yep.
That's the reality. And they've done a decent job here in this second half, or second map, sorry. 11-4 the scoreline. Far better on their CT side, as we've seen. The T side has let them down so far in this matchup. We saw them really struggle against compLexity on the T side of their Mirage. So hopefully those problems don't translate to a new map. But
I fear for them, because Liquid are so good on those T side pistols. Nitro and Elige in particular, Hiko, fantastic pistol players. So if you've got fantastic pistol play and you've got on your map choice and you're on the T side, it's going to be difficult here for compLexity to hold on. They did, as you said, they had a great CT side showing on Mirage. So there is hope there, but it's going to come down to this pistol round, because if Liquid get the pistol, then they're pretty much home and hose, and there's no way to really stop that sort of momentum on CT side of Dust2 unless you have a really deep CT set of strategies. Because understand this, when you're on the CT side of Dust2, Liquid have 11 rounds to play with on their T side. They've already got 11 in the bank. So even if they run one set of strategies and it doesn't work, they run the second set of strategies, doesn't work, they have time to work you out, pick you apart, and eventually overwhelm you on their side. So it's about the depth for compLexity. How many different structures do you know and can maintain throughout the course of a half? And how long can you keep hitting shots for?
Well, that's exactly what it was. Was it a lack of depth or a lack of depth?
Def actually played really well. I thought he was a standout player, so I don't think it was a lack of depth. Could have been, though.
Could have been. Could have been exactly what they were lacking in this. But they will be going live momentarily now into the second half of the second map. And compLexity fighting Liquid in this one. Liquid, on the other hand, fighting for final survival here at the ESL Pro League.
They certainly are, and the B spawn here for Liquid. I wonder if they'll take it. Will they put the aggression on? It looks as though they are all 5 members of Liquid going towards B. So, Jim, this game could resolve itself quicker than we thought. That's an excellent Molotov there from Android, but it will be put out there by the Team Liquid players, and they're going to roll into B. Straight away, Android picks up one. He needs to do more here, though. He's left all by himself. Nope, Apes made the rotation across, and as has Android, but he's gone down. Def picks up one, but this is a dangerous situation here for Ape and Surreal. They've committed to the site, but they get it to go. compLexity really put the aggression on B, meet Liquid head-to-head, and they've picked up a crucial pistol round that could set their CT side up well. Well done, compLexity, and Jim, we now have ourselves a game.
We do, because Liquid expanding into this round some Desert Eagles and Tech 9 to complement their strategy here. Nitro has that smoke, so important role laying with him. Objective would be to get the plant, but they do need to go grab that bomb. They're just looking to see whether or not compLexity are going to overextend themselves at all. Very standard play here from compLexity. Very, very passive positions. All within proximity of one another too, if they do start to make contact. And Liquid grouping up in short, but that bomb is still sitting in lower dark, so they're just momentarily waiting for it to join them. Pimp will join the quartet in short, and that smoke is going to come out. They're going to try and get this plant, overwhelming this A bomb site.
Indeed. Indeed they will. The positioning for compLexity here, though, not the best. Only the one member on A, and it is Surreal with that UMP, and he's going to widen up this angle on top of the block, but he really needs to put in a good shift here from the A bomb slide, and it looks as though he's doing that. Gets 1 and 2 while Uber chimes in. Def will pick up a kill onto Pimp, and it'll all be left up to Hiko. Def picks up a second one there with UMP. Great stuff from compLexity, only losing 1 member, and 4 kills coming out for those SMGs.
Great work farming that money.
Yep,
that's
correct.
exactly what they needed, particularly on that CT side. The economy really, really benefits from that boost that SMGs offer. T side, not so much, but definitely on the CT side, it's important to farm.
Definitely, and especially when your whole CT side revolves around your star AWPer getting his drop, or making sure that you get him an AWPer in his hands as much as possible. So
I spoke about a lack of depth, but he's actually on 18 frags, so
yeah,
there's no lack of depth.
No, he's carving.
Just lack of depth.
He's absolutely carving right now, and compLexity here on the comeback train. It's a long way to go, obviously, but Liquid looking as though this B side's the one for them. They'll just wait around until the time is right, though. Pop flash being pulled here by Elige. It's going to go very, very shortly. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have ourselves potentially a mini movie here as the B bomb slide gets attacked here. We've got Android picking up 1, 2, 3, 4, in fact. What a round by Android. And that, excuse my lack of emotion there, but that was just lambs to the slaughter. I actually hate the B rush on Dust2. I used to be an in-game leader. I do a bit of coaching now and then in CSGO, and I just despise the B rush unless you're coupling it with someone who gets a mid spawn with an AWP, and you can get information as to the timings of when they cross. You can use it in that situation. But in terms of just loading up on B late in a round without resource or any real direction, it's always just an absolute money farm.
You've got to call a B rush with some gusto. You've got to actually mean it when you call that B rush.
Yeah. And it's got to come off the back of, as I said, some misdirection somewhere maybe one player going long, flashing out, like just holding up the mid player on a rotation to B, getting a pick. Something of that nature needs to happen for the B side to be really accessible. Otherwise, you're just basically running into a round where it's 60-40 not your way, and you know that running in. So for me, that's not the greatest line of strategy or thinking, but Liquid there. Obviously just an eco. They're looking to get that over and done with. Not saying anything about that, but the B in general is difficult as Liquid make it look much easier going slow and steady and working that B bomb slide over. Much, much better from Liquid there entering B. And they pick up the first 2 kills, although this will be interesting. Def actually stops the plant from going down, but he's thrown away his life, and now it's a 4 versus 2 for Liquid. But once again, much, much better B take there from the American team.
Yeah, strange move from Def. Obviously, his objective was pretty clear, but he went in with no support. It wasn't exactly going to buy them a lot of time because his teammates weren't going for that at that stage. So all he's done is thrown away his gun and armor, and now made it difficult for compLexity because they've got to try and save everything they can. Their CT economy isn't fantastic, despite using those SMGs to farm a little bit. They still want to retain as much of this as possible. So we have Uber and Surreal both trying to save, and both fairly separated from each other, to be fair. Surreal probably stands the best chance of actually saving. Uber's very, very forward in his position. And we know how volatile the Famous can be, but they're not going to pressure him.
No, Liquid wanting to hold on to their money as well. So this is the exact spawn for everyone at home that I'm talking about. JDM has that top mid spawn that he can look straight down mid with the AWP. He's already got it in his hands. Hiko has the B spawn. So if you wanted to call B here and go fast, which I think Alicia's going to do, you can have a look at JDM. Maybe he gets the pick crossing, and that means you get a super highway to B. But as it stands, it's just going to be a normal sort of split pick here from the terrorists, and they're not going to pressure that B side whatsoever early on. It'll just be Pimp scouting it out in upper dark and trying to defend the push. And from the compLexity side of things, that AWP gets into short early on, which has been the case. And Hiko and Uber will square off. Oh my goodness, I thought that went straight through Uber there. Lucky to be alive. I'm not sure exactly what got in the way of those bullets, but Surreal takes some damage and backs off towards long.
Yeah, luckily Uber doesn't have my facial features. He'd have had his head blown off then.
Absolutely.
But with compLexity now backing off and sitting further back in these sites, Liquid have taken quite a bit of territory. They've got men all over the map waiting to see if anyone is willing to push, but you can tell compLexity that's not going to be the case. They're very passive in their site holds. Android just anchoring the back of B with that AWP, and could potentially pick up Pimp if Pimp is not careful or doesn't foon his way out of that area, but they're going to put pressure on this A-bomb site. Pimp the clear lurker.
Slowing it down here, Liquid. They're working their way out long now. The bomb will meet up with 2 of these CTs, though, fighting hard. But JDM's picked up 1, and that will be Nitro onto the second. So discombobulation coming in here for the Cole roster, and that will be a kill there for Elige. Def getting a little bit too aggressive up on that CT ramp, exposing himself. But the beauty here is that Pimp is already positioned for that flank, as you said. And once those kills went in the favor of Liquid, he was always just slowing down, waiting for those saves to come in from compLexity. Hit the nail on the head there, and Pimp able to pick up the kill on the AWP. Team Liquid race along to 13-7.
It's always going to be the case, though. If the entry fraggers get those picks, the lurker's job is so much easier because they have a lot more room to move. There's not really pressure on them, per se.
Jim, tactical timeout from compLexity? Necessary. Necessary,
but timing-wise, you may see them use it if before the
Hopefully they do use the timeout in the next round before the gun round starts. I'd love to see them. I mean, even if they go on to lose 16-7, it doesn't matter. You need to stop and talk about what's going on to make sure that you've prepared yourself for the round. As Hiko finds Def through the smoke there, just predicting that someone would react to his smoke and push through. And that's a lovely flash there from his teammate. And Elige goes massive in mid. Gets a couple of frags straight away. And now Pimp will encroach onto this B side. Surreal does pick up a deagle kill, but it is all he'll pick up. And he'll do well to save this gun. No, he won't. Elige picks up the trade for the round. Jim, the Liquid team rolling on now 14-7. And compLexity look a little bit out of their depth right now.
We're going to keep recycling that one. But they're going to have a gun round coming out here. Surreal does have that AWP. He's done a little bit better. He only had 2 frags at the half, so 6 frags is still not enough to get them anywhere near the level that Liquid are playing at. And Liquid haven't really looked troubled at all so far, but I'm going to try and put some just pressure on the B-side defenders. You can see they're just getting to use a lot of their utility. And what that does is it actually burns it up before they have the chance to retake the A-bomb site.
Absolutely.
So that's the objective overall there. But very nearly getting caught out in mid there.
He did get caught out JDM, got caught napping a little bit on the scope, and Surreal able to tag him through the door, but I mean, just an unexplainable movement there from Surreal, not knowing that his teammate hadn't got long, but they hadn't had long for quite some time, at least 30 seconds, so no real clue as to what Surreal was doing there, but unfortunately for his team, he goes down, then the short shot comes in from Hiko, so the A-bomb site completely taken over now, and I think it will be a save coming in here from compLexity to try and take this one to overtime, unless something short of a miracle happens here.
And Pimp has just sat in upper dark the whole time, waiting for that opportunity to lurk. And Ape actually finds some frags here in spawn. He picks up his second for the round, but Pimp has made that lurk. Does find that frag onto Ape. Look, cool. Second frag there onto Android, robbing him of that gun. He won't have a weapon like that into match point. And now it's just Def. And they're looking for him. But it's not a massive search party. He's the only one that will hold decent weaponry into the next round.
Panic stations here for compLexity, and for Liquid, this is a sign of a team that was desperate to win. They didn't start well at all, Jim, on the first half of the first map. They fought back on their CT side with some brilliant play, and now they find themselves in a winning position. And
Def actually finished the first half with 18 frags. So he's been completely shut out in this second half, and Liquid have done a good job of doing that and just curbing his impact in the round. And that's exactly what Liquid have done well overall this series, as we do see JDM find the frag on this reel. This is starting to capitulate here for compLexity, but they've been good at isolating the players that are doing well and avoiding them.
They certainly have, and now it's a 5 versus 3, make that a 5 versus 2. This A-bomb site will be overrun. Ladies and gentlemen, Liquid will take this series, well, these 2 best of ones, I should say, 2-0 in their home and away games against compLexity in the ESL Pro League North America. What a display there by Liquid. For me, Jim, it was more of a sense of Liquid just doing what needed to be done. compLexity was completely underwhelming. We understand that. They didn't really have any clear direction on the second half of Mirage, and Liquid put the asset on them in the first half of this map. So clear mismatch for me, both first and second games today. But at the same time, Liquid showed at least that you know, they're back in some sort of moderate form. They looked patchy, but generally speaking, they were able to get a lot of rounds to go their way.
They were. And I actually thought that compLexity looked really good in the first map. So, look, we might just quickly recap the day's results.
Yep.
As we've had 4 matches here on Matchday 22. So, we first saw SK get a 2-0 over E United, which was quite comfortable too, might add. E United, similar vein of form to what we saw here with compLexity.
Yep.
Troubled SK in that first part of the first half, but from there, it really was just traffic SK's way. SK quite comfortable in that matchup. And again, same trend as we saw compLexity take on Team Liquid in the last 2 matches of Matchday 22. But Pete, overall thoughts on Liquid's performance? Do you think they will potentially get themselves into finals contention after what you've seen?
I don't know. I really don't know. The jury is still out on Liquid. It will be out on them until they can you know, show an ability to string matches together over a longer period. I don't think that they have the roster right now to get back to where they were with Simple. They've just lost too much firepower and too much star power, too much intimidation. People know what they're dealing with now. They just basically have to handle Hiko and control JDM. A lot of the times, Nitro and Elite can be neutralized by really good teamwork from opposition teams. So Liquid are always going to really look great against average teams, but when they come up against good teams, that's when we start to find out if there's little holes in their teamwork. Because we know they can aim. We know they've got star aim talent. So if the structure's not there from their opponent, e.g. compLexity, they'll run all over them and look like stars. But when you start putting them up against teams with that elite level teamwork, they tend to get exposed a little bit more. So the jury's still out, but at least I like the direction that Liquid's taking themselves at the moment.
And I think that's a fair point to end it on. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you Matchday 22 of the ESL Pro League North American season. Joining me on the desk today has been PDG. Special thanks go to our producer, Still Barlin, and of course Jay Lemmer on that grind social media wise. It's been a pleasure from all of us here at the PGTV studio. We'll be catching you for more action on Matchday 23. So make sure you stick around for that with some fantastic matches to come. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your evening.